So today there's news that Vince McMahon is retiring from WWE, and it's definitely a very, 50-50. Like on one side, a lot of people are very happy because he represents a lot of just controversial things, like, WWE's history of racism, how it took such a long time for there to be an African American WWE champion. They've never had an Asian person hold the WWE championship, and then also with his long history of sexual harassment and sexual behavior in the workplace, and also looking at his retirement as a way of not getting a termination. Just, because there are agreements that happen in the workplace where instead of an investigation, they just like ask you to quit, get your retirement, and move on, resign the position. So it represents that. But then also, when you look at Vince McMahon, he is the Walt Disney of professional wrestling. The reason why that professional wrestling wasn't a territorial thing, and like also, let's say if wrestling was a bunch of like little territories nowadays, it wouldn't be as popular. He was the one who made professional wrestling mainstream. So the reason why like professional wrestling has been in the cultural zeitgeist for over 30 years is because of him. And then also the other thing too is that, companies like AEW, and a lot of wrestlers that are not really known, like, like when AJ Styles was popular in TNA and other things like that, that all came through WWE, because WWE was so popular, it gave wrestlers from other promotions huge chances that they would have never gotten in real life. So, so it's not just a person who's influenced just WWE and WWF wrestlers. He's somebody that's influenced entertainers. He's somebody who's influenced other wrestlers from other companies getting jobs. And he's also influenced pop culture, art culture, and a lot of people like who, just need a role model, can look up to wrestlers like Hulk Hogan or John Cena or whoever, and be inspired by them. So it's definitely, somebody who's created this world, even though he's a very controversial figure, and even though in the end of the day he is definitely a business sociopath. He only cares about himself. He only cares about his money. During the pandemic, he was letting people go just to make profit. So he doesn't, in a sense, really care about people to the level that a good person would care about people. So it is a controversial thing. And I think the other thing that really upsets me is that AEW has been doing very well the past couple of weeks. So all this news about WWE going TV14, John Laurinaitis and Vince McMahon, with the sexual investigations, and then them being released from the company. One thing that's upset me is that AEW has been working really hard with their wrestlers, trying to get some really, really good publicity. So that's been taken away a lot because of all this WWE drama. And for me, it's a cheap way to get ratings. Oh, well, look at the drama that they're causing in real life or whatever, because that's just unfair to people who actually really, really work hard and not to try to do the right thing. And, one thing I liked about Tony Khan is that when he's had issues with people doing sexual harassment or legal issues or whatever, he just knows how to create consequences and then also offer them rehab or training and be like, you can't come back, it's either that or termination. So you don't see that in WWE that much. So I do think that maybe with drug issues, but don't see the sexual harassment and other things like that. But I think it's good that he's gone, because he's been there for such a long time. He's somebody who's very, very stubborn, and I just think that when you look at a lot of things that have been going on in the WWE, a changing of the guard is good, because it just can't be one style for generations. And I also think that he was also a very toxic human being. Like, as people said, that people were always afraid to give him ideas or challenge him, or sometimes when things went wrong, he would fire other people I mean, he would have a lot of people like, take on jobs or whatever. So it's almost like if things went awry, you don't fire Vince, you don't blame Vince. It goes on to somebody else. So I just think that, I'm happy that that's not there, and hopefully they can create a less toxic workplace, and that be that. And then also they don't have somebody that's going to be ripping up scripts before the actual show because they're stubborn or they have like a certain idea. So I hope that this retirement means that Vince is out of it for good. He can be on screen character. He can do some other entertaining stuff, but he's just not involved in the creative or whatever. Because if he's involved one drop of blood in it, then it's not like he left, because you're just keeping him, but in a different form. So I hope he's like gone for good. If Walt Disney was still alive or whatever, or it was like Futurama thing where they had his head in glass and kept him alive for centuries, it wouldn't be good for Disney creatively, because you'd have one person's vision for such a long time, and that's kind of been the issue with WWE. So it's just like, and also look, Vince McMahon's family has a lot of people living into their hundreds. Like they said, like Vince was like 100 years old. What effect do you think he would have on professional wrestling? Possibly not a good one. So I just think that he just really, really needs to go. It needs to be about other people, and other people, like just doing the best with the company. It can't just be a Vince McMahon thing. So I'm really excited to see him go. Good riddance, and that be that.